As per reports, India has successfully tested 6 PINAKI rockets as part of the final development trials. It became the first rockets to be fully made by the private sector in India and were manufactured by Economic Explosives Limited (EEL). This was possible after the company signed a technology transfer agreement with the state-owned Defense Research and Development Organization (DRDO). The PINAKI weapon system consists of rocket, multi-barrel rocket launcher, battery command post, loader cum replenishment vehicle, and Digicora Met radar. According to DRDO, PINAKI is an all-weather, indirect fire, free flight artillery rocket system with 2 pods containing 6 rockets each, capable of firing in salvo mode within 48 seconds, neutralizing the area of 700 by 500 meters. Viewers may note that the Indian government has put an embargo on 101 defense items to create a local manufacturing ecosystem as part of Atmanirbhar Bharat, self-reliant India. The PINAKI MBRL is in the embargo list. This video is sponsored by the free-to-play military vehicle combat game War Thunder. We talk a lot about military vehicles on this channel, but what about trying them out for yourself? In War Thunder, you can choose from more than 1,200 playable vehicles from the 1930s to the 1990s and go to battle on more than 80 theaters of war. You can fly aircraft, helicopters, drive tanks, and command ships of all types and sizes, which have been carefully recreated from their real-world counterparts. It's available as a free download on PC, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One with cross-platform support. So grab your friends and give it a try. All viewers of Defense Updates that register using the link in the description below will also get a free premium tank, aircraft, or ship and 3 days of premium account time as a bonus. Lockheed Martin has stated that it plans to commoditize its F-16 Viper fighter jet line. It will be offering jets in a single standardized configuration based on the latest Block 70-72 variant, and the pricing will also be standardized. The goal here is to streamline things for both the manufacturer and potential customers, especially foreign buyers, and it follows a massive U.S. Air Force managed contract for the production of Vipers for export over the next decade. J.R. McDonald, the Vice President of Business Development for Lockheed Martin's Integrated Fighter Group, told Flight Global, "The development of the pricing and the back and forth with the country on the pricing, and then the actual pricing when we deliver it to them in the form of an offer and acceptance letter, that takes a very long time. And it takes a lot of money to develop those individual contracts with each individual. It's a way to streamline contracting, make the pricing as transparent as possible in a foreign military sales environment." According to Flight Global, though it's not clear what those specific systems will be. The new standard Viper configuration will have a default set of avionics, mission systems, an active electronically scanned array (AESA) radar, electronic warfare suite, automatic ground collision avoidance system, and an engine. Chinese and Russian troops will join forces with those from 8 other nations later this month for a week-long military drill in southern Russia named KAVKAZ 2020. It will take place in the Astrakhan region and the Black and Caspian Seas from September 21st to the 26th. India was set to join the drills, but recently announced its withdrawal. The Defense Ministry in New Delhi said the decision was based on concerns related to the coronavirus pandemic, but Indian media indicated that it was influenced by the renewed clashes between Indian and Chinese troops in the line of actual control. The exercise is expected to have ground troops as well as armored vehicles and will focus on defensive tactics, joint attack, encirclement, and battlefield control and command. The U.S. Army is working to deploy a ground-launched variant of SM6. SM6, also known as the Standard Missile 6, or the Wyrm 174 Standard Extended Range Active Missile (ERAM), is currently being fielded by the Navy from the Mark 41 vertical launch system cells available in the Arleigh Burke-class destroyers and Ticonderoga-class cruisers. It was designed for extended-range anti-air warfare purposes, providing capability against fixed and rotary wing aircraft, unmanned aerial vehicles, anti-ship cruise missiles in flight, both over sea and land, and terminal ballistic missile defense. It can also be used as a high-speed anti-ship missile. The missile uses the airframe of the earlier SM-2ER Block 4 Wyrm 156A missile and some targeting elements from AIM-120C AMRAAM. It can discriminate targets using its dual-mode seeker, with the semi-active seeker relying on a ship-based illuminator to highlight the target, and the active seeker having the missile itself sending out an electromagnetic signal. SM6 has a max speed of Mach 3.5 and has a 140-pound or 64-kilogram blast fragmentation warhead. President Donald Trump has revealed that the U.S. military has a potentially previously unknown secret nuclear weapon in an on-the-record interview with Washington Post associate editor and veteran journalist Bob Woodward for his new book. Other sources reportedly confirmed the existence of the weapon system in question, but no additional details are available. Viewers may note that Woodward conducted 18 interviews between December 2019 and July 2020 with Trump for the book, titled Rage, which will begin shipping to the general public later this month. The Washington Post published various details from it, along with audio from Woodward's conversations with the president on September 9, 2020. Trump told Woodward, "I've built a nuclear, a weapon system that nobody's ever had in this country before. We have stuff that you haven't even seen or heard about. We have stuff that Putin and Xi have never heard about before. There's nobody. What we have is incredible." Though Woodward's sources said that Trump was speaking about a real system, and they were surprised he did so at all, they do not appear to have confirmed any specifics about it. The congressionally mandated report, which focuses on Chinese military power and the direction of the country's armed forces, stated that Beijing is looking to at least double its stockpile of nuclear warheads within the next decade. It added that China currently possesses a stockpile estimated to be in the low 200s. Spragia said, according to a transcript of a meeting with a small group of reporters, an ability to double the stockpile not only demonstrates a move away from their historical maximum deterrence posture, but places them in a position where they can readily grow their force beyond this number. We do believe that over the next decade, China is likely to at least double the size of its nuclear stockpile in the course of implementing the most rapid expansion and diversification of. Viewers may note that even with such increases, China's nuclear arsenal would still be much smaller than the United States stockpile, which is estimated to have around 4,000 warheads in operational status and others in reserve. The White House has been prodding Beijing to join the U.S. and Russia in negotiating a three-way agreement to limit strategic nuclear arms. China has repeatedly refused this, citing the minimal size of its arsenal. U.S. President Donald Trump has announced that Israel and the Gulf state of Bahrain have reached a landmark deal to fully normalize their relations. He tweeted, "The second Arab country to make peace with Israel in 30 days." For decades, most Arab states have boycotted Israel, insisting they would only establish ties after the Palestinian dispute was settled. But last month, the United Arab Emirates, UAE, agreed to normalize its relationship with Israel, and indications were present that Bahrain might follow suit. Mr. Trump, who presented his Middle East peace plan in January aimed at resolving the Israel-Palestinian conflict, helped broker both accords. Bahrain is only the fourth Arab country in the Middle East after the UAE, Egypt, and Jordan to recognize Israel since its founding in 1948. These deals will go a long way to stabilize the region, though the Israeli-Palestinian peace deal has not worked out yet.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more videos like this. Hit the like button if you find the video interesting, and kindly provide your feedback in the comment section. This will help us improve.